It's time now for County-Wide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Brad Miller as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives here in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's County-Wide.
Well, good day and welcome to the program. Brad Miller with you. It is County-Wide, and we're happy to welcome into a studio today a couple of gentlemen who are going to talk about a very, very big and very important event that is coming to the Verde Valley in about a week's time. On the 28th, the traveling wall, the Vietnam Memorial Traveling Wall. It is an 80% replica of the actual monument, the memorial that you would find in Washington, D.C. They have put together a kind of a traveling a memorial, if you will, that is very, very similar, almost to scale of the actual wall, and it is very, very compelling. It's coming to Cottonwood on the 28th of March. It'll be here. There'll be kind of a weekend of commemoration, and our two guests today are going to talk about spearheading that, along with a lot of help. And Ron, I know you'll say that, but Ron Luce and Steve Palmer are here to talk about the Vietnam Memorial Wall, the traveling wall that's coming to Cottonwood. Guys, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to say right off the bat, thanks for your hard work. And Ron, you told me beforehand that this was really an effort of love and hard work by a good number of people. Tell me how we went from let's do this to here it is.
Well, it was last year in Sedona. We put together. I was just member of the committee putting together the first annual Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day celebration for Verde Valley. And it was held in Sedona. And there was probably 15 people on the committee that in 6 weeks' time put together a nice little thing working with the city of Sedona. During that time, we said that we'd like it to be Verde Valley wide, so we would like to move it around the different communities. While I approached the mayor and the city manager here in Cottonwood about getting the taking over for the 2013, this year's Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day celebration. I had the idea in the back of my head. It was placed in there about 6 years ago by Jim McMeekin, who works with the Clemenceau Museum. He's a retired Army veteran, and he approached me about bringing a traveling wall here to Cottonwood. Well, I did the research and I said, where are we going to get this money that it'd take to do that? So I kind of put it on the back burner. Well, when the city stepped up and said they would do the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day, this was April, early May of last year.
Okay.
And the idea came right up front in my head, and I said, what about bringing the wall here? And I got nothing but enthusiasm. Sure. Everybody says, let's do it. And before we even contracted for a wall, I searched the third organization that has traveling walls that I contacted said they had an opening and we could get our name on the calendar. And from there to getting the down payment, which was $3,000, was about, I'd say, 10 minutes. The city stepped up, said they would kick in the $2,000, and Jim McMeekin stepped up, and VFW stepped up, sure. And we had the $3,000 before you could blink an eye. And then we started getting volunteers in, and the committee that started out about 15 became 20 and 25.
It seems like, and we have found this because we're putting a lot of things out on the radio and whatnot here at the station, and the story was very similar. The enthusiasm that we got just from folks who want to come and visit, but also those who are kind of going to help kind of sponsor the broadcast and different things that we're doing. Just yes, 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 yes. Sometimes somebody gets an idea and there's just no downside to it, and this certainly seems like one of those things.
I agree. This was the enthusiasm I've run into, on the part of everybody on the committee, number one, on up to the volunteers stepping out of the woodwork. I have them coming from out of state to volunteer to work at the thing on their own dime. And, I just, I can't say enough about how much help and how much energy has been put into this by a large number. We have over 40 people on the committee now, and every one of them's doing a job.
I want to kind of make it clear for our TV audience and also the radio listeners that, and tell me if I'm not saying this right, as I understand this is an 80% replica, so pretty darn close to full size of the actual Vietnam Memorial Wall that I think so many of us have seen over the years. Names of those who were lost etched into, I believe, granite.
Well, this one is aluminum panels.
Gotcha.
The original is granite.
There are subtle differences, but just you've seen similar traveling walls, and have told me that it's extremely touching, as is the real one in D.C.
Yes, I've been to 3 traveling walls. Anaheim, California, several years ago when I was still living in San Diego, and then Northern California in Weaverville, and then I believe about 5 years ago in Bullhead City, over by Laughlin. We were there for VFW convention. Mm-hmm. And every one of them is a little different. The environment is different, but the same feeling hits you. I have friends on the wall.
Sure. You are a Vietnam veteran.
Yes, I'm a Vietnam veteran. And I have friends on the wall, and I've got rubbings from 2 of the 3 walls, and I will get rubbings again this time. And I even have a larger number now. I'm finding other friends, old classmates that are, their names are on the wall now.
Sure.
So I will be getting more rubbings this time, but it is, you have a feeling of being in a church.
Yeah.
When you face the wall and, excuse me.
That's okay.
See the names.
Yeah. Steve, you have been to Washington, D.C. and seen the actual wall, and you've indicated to us that it is very compelling, very moving.
Very moving. A wall like that, when I remember the controversy when they planned the wall, they said, what kind of tribute is this just to have a wall with a bunch of names on it, and what kind of tribute are you giving these people? And the way they designed it, it goes down into a hollow and comes back out. So the small walls at the beginning is the war, in the early 60s with just a few veterans. Then you go down to the late 60s and so forth when the war toll was at its heaviest. And then it narrows down again, almost like a wing. And then when you get down to that hollow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
very
an extraordinary design. Let me do this as we get ready to go to break. It's going to be at the Cottonwood Middle School. I don't think I've mentioned yet where this will be. Arriving, I think. Let's go ahead and go to our break. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the particulars, how you can become a part of this. It is open to the public, and we'll be here for about 3 days or so. So plenty of time, and 24 hours a day. Is that right?
24 hours a day once it opens.
It'll be there, so you can go even in the middle of the night, should you choose to. We'll take a short break. It's countywide, and we'll be right back after this.
Having a fire escape plan is very important to keep your family safe and together in the event of a fire. When you awake to the sound of a smoke detector and smoke in your room, don't stand straight up. Carefully roll off your bed and stay low under the smoke. If your door is shut, feel the door with the back of your hand. Slowly open the door if no heat is felt. Always stay low until you get to the outside of your home. Always have 2 ways out of your house and a specified meeting place somewhere outside your home. Home escape plans should be drawn up and rehearsed on a regular basis. This could be the difference between life and death if caught in a fire.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome back to the program. It is Countywide. Our guest today, Ron Luce, Steve Palmer, talking about the Traveling Vietnam Wall, a 80% almost full-scale replica of the actual Vietnam Memorial Wall that is in Washington, D.C. It is, they take it on the road, and I think that's very interesting. It's just not possible for everyone to go to the nation's capital and see everything that's there, the history that just kind of drips from the entire city, I'm sure. And so I think this is kind of an interesting way to do it. Ron, you're a veteran yourself, and you said you just so far haven't been able to get to Washington, D.C.,
right,
but have seen the wall. So it accommodates people in that way and brings a very important piece of history out to those who just might not be able to otherwise see it. And that's what this is, and that's what these gentlemen and their many compatriots have done, is bring it here. Let's kind of talk about what's going to happen, because there's more. The wall will come, and it's on the 28th that it starts. There'll be, I think, some opening ceremonies. There's going to be kind of a bike run as a kind of a welcome, or a,
yes.
Tell me about all of that.
On the 27th, Wednesday, the wall actually, it's a one truck pulling a 24-foot trailer hauling this whole wall. Okay. Will arrive at I-17 and the Highway 260 at about 3 p.m. Okay. We have a large motorcycle escort that will include a truck called the Ride of Pride truck. It's provided by Schneider Trucking, and it's all free of charge. And we have the Purple Heart truck, which is a brainchild of one of the members of the Royal Order of the Purple Heart in Flagstaff. They're coming down with their truck to be part of it. And I was told yesterday 630 motorcycles so far. And they will escort it in. They expect to hit Cottonwood, city of Cottonwood, and it's fully escorted by the police and everything. So we are assured that there's going to be good control. Sure. It's going to hit Cottonwood about 3:30, and sometime between 3:30 and 4 o'clock it'll make the passage in on 260 onto Main Street and follow Main Street to Mingus, and then west on Mingus to the school. And we are hoping that a lot of the citizens will be out with their flags, signs, lights, flashing lights if they want, to greet it when it comes here, because this is a kind of historic. That
very much so. It's
the first time in the Lower Valley here. I think it was in Payson. One of the walls was in Payson several years ago, but that's the closest it's been to us.
And this is the only appearance in Arizona.
The only appearance for this wall in Arizona this year that I know of. Okay. Then Thursday morning it will be assembled at the football field there at middle school, and at noon we will have opening ceremonies. We will have the laying of the POW MIA wreath, and the Gold Star Mothers will be, there's so far I believe I have 6 from Prescott, Phoenix, and they will be there to lay a Gold Star Mothers wreath. Sure. And the Gold Star Mothers, of course, are mothers who have lost sons or daughters in combat. So it's a very, that is a very, very important part of our program.
Are any of these ceremonies, there's going to be an awful lot. I know there'll be simply a flag raising every morning will be, I think, something to see. Is all of this open to the public?
Yes.
And is there a charge of any kind?
No, it's absolutely free. We have many of the Valley schools are bringing busloads of their children. We're trying to keep it scheduled so that we don't have an inundation at any one time. Sure. But we're bringing in the schools because it is a good educational opportunity for the children. Right. And but we will have posting of colors. We will have along with the laying of the wreath, we'll have blessing of the memorial. at that time, and then it will be open for, you know, anybody to come sign up. We have rubbing sheets, we have programs, and they can go to the wall and actually take a rubbing of a name. And they don't have it. They don't have to know any names on the wall. They can take a rubbing of any name and say, "This came from the wall. This is one of the."
And I think that's one of the things that becomes very touching to a lot of people. Steve, you can attest. Steve's over there nodding his head. Even if you don't know anyone who was there or who was lost in this war, do you feel a connection by seeing?
The name is a human that sacrificed all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just extraordinary. I want to describe the rubbings a little bit for those who might be unfamiliar. This is like a piece of parchment.
Well, we will. You know,
how does it work?
We just use regular papers. Steve is bringing some rubbing paper, but we have
in the cemeteries.
We have little sheets that have the wall panel number and the line number, and it has the, you know, it's got the logo on the wall and all. And they can take it. We will have pencils there, and they can take it, put it over the name, and do a, you know, just do a rubbing on it, and the name will show up on the sheet very clearly.
Something you can take with you.
And they can take it with them. They can put it with the program and keep it, you know, just knowing that they visited either someone they knew on the wall, someone, a loved one that they lost, or just a name on the wall that, you know, that they feel a kinship with.
Sure.
And the other thing is we're going to have computers with the database of all the names there, so that if you're looking for a particular person, you can do that. We'll have laptops there with the download of the system, so that if John Smith can be found, you'll know which wall, what line he will be on, so that way it's not this endless search if you're looking for someone.
Sure.
Yeah, there's books. There's hard copy books too that people can go through and find the names as well.
I think the names are put on there chronologically. Okay,
the best they could, and as if they find MIAs that are identified later on, or people that were overlooked for some reason, then they're added on, you know, toward the end.
And as I understand it, we've talked about it being smaller than the actual wall, an 80% scale, but all the names that are on the wall in Washington, D.C. are on here.
Yes.
And as you say, they've added some even very recently as more things became clear. But all the names will be there. In other words, it's not like, well, we've got.
Yeah, it's not.
We're bringing 9 out of the 10 panels. That's not our 80% or 8 of.
Everyone that sacrificed their life will be on there as they are in Washington.
Will be represented. Yeah.
Yeah, the wall is itself. This traveling wall is 8 foot high at the center, at the apex, and it is 360 feet long. It is basically a kind of flat V, 180 foot wings on either side. So it is still very, very impressive. It covers a football field.
Yeah, very big. I mean, it's just the scale of it is quite grand and quite moving. We'll take a short break. We'll come back. We'll conclude our program. Again, it's on the 28th. This will be at the Cottonwood Middle School, the Vietnam Wall Memorial. The traveling wall is coming to Cottonwood next week. We'll take a break. We'll come back to Countywide right after this.
I got no pulse, so losing.
Sergeant, he's in VFib.
Shocking. Is it real all the time? Just had a few drinks. This can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear. We're just buzzed. Just buzzed. You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right. This isn't happening. You'll be fine. I feel good. Really? No, not really.
Buzz driving.
Clear.
Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shocking.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Fire can happen at any time. What would you try to save?
My family photos.
My grandfather's war memorabilia.
My dogs.
I'm firefighter Brandon Wacker with the Cottonwood Fire Department. A working smoke detector is your best defense in the event of a fire. Make sure you have a smoke detector in every room except your kitchen. Test them monthly and change the battery once a year. Take the time to save the things you can't replace.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Welcome back to the program. Steve Palmer, Ron Luce, our guest today. And the Vietnam Memorial Wall, the traveling wall, is coming to Cottonwood. It'll be on the 28th. That's a Thursday, opening about noontime, opening for the public at that point, and then closing at about noontime on Sunday. So that stretch, and it will be open 24 hours a day. There is no charge. I can understand people might want to come when it's a little quiet. It'll probably be busy during the day, as we mentioned, school kids and those kinds of things. Some undoubtedly will choose to come at a different time. A part of this, there's a whole lot going on, and I think we're only kind of touching on a few things. So I want to talk about some of the other things that are happening. There's going to be some church services kind of tied to the event. Tell me about that.
Yes, on Sunday morning, the United Methodist Church will conduct a non-denominational church service there. That happens to be Easter Sunday as well. Right. David Treadwell, pastor of church, will be conducting the ceremony. He happens to be not only a biker, but a Vietnam veteran himself. Okay. So, you know, we're really happy to have him involved in it. We will have plenty of seating for anybody who wants to come. The Oak Creek Cottonwood School District is going to put the seating out like they would for a graduation service there. So there will be plenty of seats. Okay. And it should be about an hour long. It will still give people time before and after to visit the wall itself. So. Okay.
Now, I guess in addition to this, or concurrent with this, is kind of a big event, a veterans commemoration at the Kids Park in Cottonwood. Who wants to tell me about that?
I'm going to let Ron refer to Ron.
There's a lot happening.
Yes, the second annual Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day celebration will be at the Kids Park at the Fairgrounds on 12th Street. It will begin with the arrival of, again, these motorcyclists, at least 630 to date. They will be making the transit from Red Rock High School in Sedona through Village of Oak Creek onto I-17, through Camp Verde, then back in on 260 out to 89A to Clarkdale, loop through Clarkdale, come through Old Town Cottonwood, and end up at Kids Park a little before 1, which is the official opening. And at that time, we will do a posting of colors by honor guard made up of members of several service organizations, including Marine Corps Reserve from Phoenix will be up there, and we'll do the flag raising. We'll have a little bit of welcoming by the mayors of the communities in the valley here, and then music and food cooked by Knights of Columbus, and that will go on till a little after 5. We'll have 2 bands playing.
A lot. And this is on which day again?
This is Saturday the 30th. Okay. And we will have information booths from a lot of organizations that support and provide special services to the veterans, including service organizations, American Legion, DAV, the Veterans Administration will have a vehicle there, VFW, Verde Valley Hospice.
The scale of it, I'm sorry to have to slow you down there, Ron. The overall impression is there are a lot of folks are involved in this, a lot of service clubs, organizations, veterans groups are involved in this. This is going to attract people from across the state. There's no question in my mind, and perhaps even further. Be a part of this. Again, coming up on the 28th, there's a lot in the media about this event. You can't really miss it if you're paying any kind of attention at all. Most importantly, be there. Learn what some of this sacrifice has been. Ron Luce and Steve Palmer, guys, again, thanks so much for this effort, for doing this, and thanks for coming in and sharing it with us today. It's Countywide. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Yep.
This has been County-Wide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday as we tackle the hot topics and talk to the decision makers across Yavapai County. That's County-Wide with Brad Miller and Paul David each Tuesday and Thursday on this Yavapai Broadcasting station.